Hello guys, welcome to hoodie dress part 2. How to make hoodie dress part 2. Okay, if you have not watched the first part, ensure you go and watch part 1 so you understand what we're doing here. Alright, the first thing I've done after cutting is to cut facing for the neckline. Okay, so I cut the facing for the neckline and I slash the center of the neck open to enable my head pass through with ease. Okay, so I just turned that straight part, so I just stitch that part. So here is how it looks after turning it. Okay, now I didn't turn everything because of course our hood is going to come in later. Okay, so right away I'll be cutting the facing for the back. Okay, the back. Some may say the facing is not necessary, but if you need the inner neck to look very neat, I'd advise you to cut a facing for it. That's what we use to cover our seam. Okay, so our seam will not show outside. So if you're going to be doing this for sale, if you're going to be doing it as a ready to wear outfit, then you have to, I would advise you, it's not by force, I would advise you to cut facing for the neck so we can use it to turn the neck in, or you can use bias to cover that part. It's still good, it's still fine. Okay, so I choose to use the facing for it. So this is our hood. This is our hood. We're going to be working on our hood now. So we're just going to go ahead and sew round like this. Sew the neck. Sew this part I just showed you for the front and the facing. Okay. I also did double. So after sewing, you want to iron, press your seam open so it will look neat. You do that for both. Then we are going to go ahead and turn it so that our seam will be inside. So bring the two together and then we're going to go and sew round. Just go ahead and sew it round. Beg your pardon. So another thing I want to bring to your notice is the part that will fit into the neck. Make sure you measure your neck round so that that part will align well, it will be equal. Okay, I didn't explain that when I cut the neck, when I was cutting the hood. The part that is going to fit into the neckline, make sure the measurement is equal. So I'm trying to create the hole where our drawstring will pass through. Okay, so I just measured 1.5 inch away from the tip of the hood, and then I'm cutting these pieces that I'll use to turn that hole where I created just now. Okay, so I created the hole in 2 places so that if I pass it through one side, it will come out at the other side. The same thing we're going to do for both. Okay, so you can see the hole. Just go ahead and sew it round carefully, and then by the time we are done sewing it, we are going to just go ahead and turn our pieces over. Make sure it's good side, facing good side, so that by the time you turn your pieces inward, it will hide it, since we are going to still use the other pair to turn it, the other side of it to turn it over. Okay, so you notch it all around because it's a round swing, so that by the time you turn it out, it will be smooth. So you can see I've turned it out and it's looking neat and clean. Yeah, so we'll just iron that and then we can go ahead and turn it now, as you can see. So we have turned it and we're also going to press it so that it will look smooth. So you can see our hole. You can see our hood is ready. Okay. So guys, the next thing we'll be doing now is to create the panel for our drawstring. Okay. So we're just going to sew beside the hole, but first of all let's match the neck side. Okay, let's match it down before we do that, and then we're going to go ahead to just create that panel where our drawstring will fit in. So at least 1 inch is okay, or 0.5 inch depending on the size of your drawstring. Okay, so this is it. So since we are done, we're going to keep that aside. Now let's work on the pocket. The pockets, I also cut them in pairs so I can turn them over, turn the seam inwards. So I would like to use the pattern side. So I'll turn it like so by sewing it. You can see. So I'm just leaving a spot where I'll use to turn it inside. Okay, make sure you trim excesses and then you notch the curved part so that when you turn it, it will look smooth like this. You can see. Make sure you turn it smoothly and then you also iron. Do the same thing for the other one. So now I'm going to be showing us how to place the pocket. This part is also important. I'm going to teach you how to place the pocket. So I just ironed the middle part, ironed it on fold so that I can get the middle part. Okay, so I'll mark it for this side and mark it for the other side also. So the length of the pocket is 23 for me. If you are tall, I think 23 is okay, but you always want to measure that part on your body. Okay, so make sure you measure where you want your pocket to be. Mine is 23, where it will start from. So I'll just place it there. Then the width should be your bust span. If your bust span is 8, that means 4 on each side. Like I used 4.5 for mine. Okay, I used 4.5. If you can also use 3 inches apart from the center. So what I have in between there now is 9 inches. Okay, but you can use 3 inches if you are not fat, or you can use 4 inches apart from the center, making it 8. So I'll just pin down the pockets there and then carefully sew it around, and that's all. Very easy. I hope you try to make this hoodie and joggers. If you are able to make it, make sure you tag me to it so that I'll see that you have benefited from this tutorial. Okay, so I just pin down the pockets and then I'll head to my sewing machine and then sew it, and leave the upside open where my hand will pass through. Okay, so here I'm done sewing it. You can see I'll just go ahead and sew the shoulders now, placing my fabric good side to good side, the front and the back now together. So I'll just go and sew the shoulders. After sewing the shoulders, then we can now talk about putting our hood, attaching our hood. So this is the shoulder part, and I want you to pay attention to the shoulder part because I'm not going to be putting the facing together with it, because I want the facing to cover the seam or when I'm putting the hood. So I'll just sew the shoulders independently from the facing. Okay, and you can see that I didn't turn the neckline with the facing. Okay, so do the same. Especially if you are going to be making this for ready to wear. You might not use this fabric. If you want to do it for ready to wear, you can get a plain fabric, nice colors, and do for ready to wear. But this procedure is good. This sewing techniques is just perfect. Okay, you're going to get a very neat work at the end of the day. So you can see how I'm placing the hood with my facing. Okay, I'm using it to turn it. You can see the hood comes on top of the neck line, and then the facing will cover it so that by the time I'm through, the seam will not show outside. So I want you to watch this part carefully. Remember that the hood is in between the main fashion fabric and the facing together. So the hood is at the center. Now this is my facing for the back. Okay, so what I want to do now is I'm going to use the facing. I'm going to, remember I cut it with the shoulder, okay? So I'm going to join the shoulder for the facing to, I'm going to join the shoulders, both shoulders, so the neck would form, and then I'll continue sewing it. So I'm joining the other side now, shoulder to shoulder. So the neckline will be left for me to put the hook, the hood, to use it to turn the hood. All right. So my hood is at the middle, as you can see, and the facing is right there on top. My fashion fabric is down. So I'm going to just sew all through. So this part you want to really take your time and do it carefully. Just take your time and do it very, very carefully so that it comes out nice. And this is the part that if you don't cut your hood to go around your neck, it will be shorter. So make sure that when cutting, your hood neck line aligns with the neck of your dress. Please take note of this part. Make sure it aligns so that you don't have hitches at the end of the day, okay? So you don't go and start trying to add. So make sure you measure before you do that part so it will align very well. So you can see we are done fixing it. Yeah, so the next thing we want to do is to attach our drawstring. Once we attach the drawstring, it means we are through. So guys, if you enjoyed this video on this hoodie dress, kindly give me a thumbs up, write a comment of appreciation, and also subscribe. If you have not subscribed, subscribe so you can always see more of my videos. I'll be posting more tutorial videos. The next video I'll be working on is a circle top. A circle top, also good for ready to wear business owners, so you can also watch that video. Make sure you click the notification button to get notification whenever I post a new video. And I'll be glad to see you make your own hoodie dress, okay? And if you're able to make it, you can post it on our sewing group on Facebook, Sew with Bifa, or you can follow me on my Facebook page, Obie Ruth, or Bezalel Fashion and Accessories, okay? Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.